True Hoop TV, we're talking to Mike Wallace about Paul Pierce. How are you, Mike?
I'm good. Thanks a lot, Henry.
So listen, Paul Pierce, interesting character. He's kind of a veteran, been around a long time, knows all the tricks, but he's still kind of got this. He's always getting in tussles, or people think maybe he faked that injury in the final. I'll never forget that. He's credible, but not credible. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, and even when you throw in the sort of the gang affiliation things that he's had to talk about too. Paul seems to embrace that mystique about him. He loves to be the mystery man. He wants to be a bad boy, but not necessarily certified. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where you're seeing that come out even now with the Wizards. I mean, he's looked at as the OG, so to speak, the OG with this young Wizards team, and he loves that role. He embraces it.
In the preseason, he did something. Joakim Noah went from like, to like Paul Pierce. A few words came out of his mouth, and all of a sudden, Joakim was as mad as players get. What happened?
It was Paul being Paul. You know, he basically calculated that he knows that this team, the one thing that these Wizards didn't have last year was sort of an edge. You know, I mean, they couldn't really close in the fourth quarter. They had some problems there, but they lacked that edge too. They're seen as this young, up and coming, friendly little kid brother type team, and he wants to, establish some veterans, some toughness, and some moxie with these guys. And that was what that was all about. It was the preseason. It cost his team, Nene for the season opening loss against the Miami Heat. But it was something that they felt was well worth the investment because, again, you're looking at these Wizards a little bit differently now.
So you're telling me this kind of stuff from Paul, career long, is really just head games to help his team and not him having a screw loose or something? I
think he does have a screw loose. I think he has a couple of screws loose, and he wants to let everybody know that. But I also know that he's crazy like a fox, too. I mean, he's one of those guys that knows that, in order for him to get you out of your game, he's not the most athletic guy. He told me, he admitted it. Look, LeBron and Kobe, sort of the two guys he's always measured against, they're better. They're frankly more athletic, they're more skilled, but he's been able to hang around for 17 years and get in each one of their grills and get under their skins and even beat them in the postseason because he uses his, he gets under their skin. He uses his ability to sort of psych them out a little bit. And as long as he has that, that's not going anywhere.
What do you expect from him this year? Is he still a top shelf player?
I don't know. No, he's not top shelf. I mean, he's not going to be the guy that's, the Boston Paul Pierce. He could be a little bit better than the Brooklyn Paul Pierce, though. And I think Washington, if they can get sort of a guy that splits the difference, they'll be fine. He has to be reliable. I mean, just in a 2-game stretch, just to start this season, I mean, he bails them out against Orlando after they blew a 17-point lead. They go to him for 3 straight possessions in the final 2 minutes, and it's vintage Paul Pierce. Then the next night he gets tossed in the first half because he blows up against an official, over a clear path foul and gets ejected in the first half of the home opener. So he has to be reliable. It's not just about leadership and what he can provide on the court. He has to be reliable as well.
I got to admit, I hope one day someone makes a movie about him. He's just a fascinating character.
Yeah, he is. He is. I mean, he's part cartoonish, part thuggish, part, he's a really, really cerebral guy. And right now he's at the point of his career where he's reflecting on 17 years. He wants to remind you that, hey, I hadn't gone anywhere. I can still do some of these things at the end of games. He's not going to be a fourth-quarter Paul Pierce, but he can really be a fourth-quarter Paul Pierce. And I think that's what he's aiming for with the Wizards.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.